Youth Freedom Fighters here. Now in this video I'm going to discuss healthcare reform and the recent healthcare reform that has occurred under the Obama administration. Now as for this healthcare reform, I've got mixed feelings myself, but I'd just like to clear up some misconceptions about this healthcare reform. Some people are quite upset about it. Especially from what I've heard, some people are really upset about being required to have health care, especially considering the fact that not everybody can afford health care. And they're saying, why should you punish somebody for not being able to afford health care? Well, that's not how it works. I'd just like to clear this up. If you can't afford the health care, if you make below a certain income, you're not going to be punished for not being able to afford it. Rather, it will be government provided. In other words, the government will pay for it, and you will get health care, which you won't pay for, if you make below a certain income level. If you make above a certain income level where you're considered to be able to afford the health care, if you choose not to get health care, then you'll be fined $90 a year if you are able to afford it but choose not to get it. So if you make below a certain income, if you can't afford the health care, you're not going to be punished for that. I just wanted to clarify that. I know a lot of people probably already know that, but there's a lot of people that don't know that. And I know some people are saying even if it's the case, even if they're not going to punish people who can't afford it, what about people who can afford it but choose not to have it? Why should they have to be fined for that? Why should somebody have to be fined for choosing not to have health care? Well, it's very complicated from what I know. I mean, I'm not so sure that's a good idea myself. I don't think people should be told how to spend their money. I don't think you should be required to have health care whether you can afford. I don't particularly think you should be required to have health care whether you can afford it or not. And I don't think you should be fined because you choose not to have it. But from what I know, it has to do with this whole to appease insurance companies, the healthcare insurance companies. That's why they are making it mandatory, and that's why they're fining people who can afford it who don't choose not to have it. I know there's probably lots of controversy over these recent decision by the Supreme Court saying that this healthcare reform is constitutional and that they're allowing it. Like I said, I have mixed feelings on it myself. But I just want to make it clear that people who can't afford it, they're not going to be fined for that. You're not going to be punished if you can't afford health care. Rather, it will be paid for you. The government will provide it for you if you can't afford that. So before anybody gets really upset about being punished for not being able to afford it, that's not going to happen. Like I said, if you can't afford it, the government will provide it. So for those who don't know that, I just want to make that clear about the health care. And I urge everybody to vote for Obama, even if you don't particularly like him. He's the best candidate we've got. So, I mean, aside from just the health care, for other issues as well. So, thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.